Perhaps you recognize the call of the cuckoo, but are you aware of the infamous, potentially evil nature of the bird? I never wondered why the call was paired with alarm clocks, but a profound statement about nature and mankind led me to the seemingly obvious answer. And today, I'm going to tell you why you should know that when you hear the call of the cuckoo, it's time to wake up and guard your nest, because failure to do so will lead to the destruction of an entire generation. Welcome to the Midnight Paradigm. We are dedicated to winning the battle for the soul of the nation. This video is brought to you by the Reality Feedback Loop, the most trusted loop in the battle for the soul of the nation. See, feel, do, review, and reconcile. For more information concerning the Reality Feedback Loop, contact us at midnightparadigm@gmail.com. That's Midnight Paradigm, MIDKNIGHT. Have you seen the movie Amsterdam? It's streaming on HBO Max right now. Apparently, it's based on the real-life attempt to overthrow the U.S. government back in 1933. It's like leading up to World War II. Well, in it, there's a scene that features a couple of quirky ornithologists, and they're sharing their groundbreaking discovery about the cuckoo with the protagonist. Roll clip.
I was told a story about a misdeed in the Bird Society of England. And I'm starting to wonder if that story is about you.
Our discovery was hardly trivial.
Yes, we proved that the cuckoo lacks the capacity, the civility, the character to build its own nest.
Wow! How is that possibly significant or interesting to anybody or anything?
Because it shows that the cuckoo is a parasitic bird. It tricks better birds who build nests. Cuckoo destroys the host's eggs and then destroys the nest itself.
Berenson, the cuckoo doesn't give a damn, okay? I'd say it's a profound statement on the parasitic, destructive behavior of nature, including humans.
Yeah.
That is especially true after what we saw today.
All right, so the character Canterbury gives us the basis of the metaphor, and Norcross prompts us to examine the nature of the cuckoo alongside the nature of human beings. So let's do it. Let's look into the nature of the cuckoo and see if there are any parallels between the parasitic bird and humans today.
You disgust me!
History will redeem me.
Like hell it will.
The cuckoo has two primary objectives that ensure its survival: infiltration and destruction. It doesn't build, it doesn't nurture, it infiltrates the nest of host birds and then proceeds to destroy the host's eggs in order to ensure its own survival. How does it infiltrate the host nest? First, it chooses a host. Then it stalks its host, learning its host patterns all the way down to its egg color pattern, which the cuckoo then imitates in order to trick its host into nurturing the cuckoo's egg. Once the forgery is produced, the cuckoo waits for the host to leave its own eggs unguarded. When both parents are away from the nest, the cuckoo infiltrates the nest by removing one host egg and replacing it with his own. And at this point, the cuckoo's first objective is complete. All right, listen, we've got to change the music because shit's about to get dark. The cuckoo is a greedy hatchling, and once it hatches, it demands food, and plenty of food. And it'll do everything it can to get as much food as, by any means necessary. Matter of fact, unnecessary. We're talking about a true asshole here. And the cuckoo does not tolerate competition. The more mouths it feed, the less food it has to eat. So it will remove the host eggs from the nest before they hatch. Or if it can't do that, it'll just kill its step siblings after the eggs hatch. It's crazy. And the cuckoo does not stop killing until it's the last hatchling remaining. And what's crazy is that the host will continue working hard enough to feed the entire nest. And part of that is because the cuckoo has the ability to imitate a chorus of hatchlings when it's crying out for food, which tricks the host into gathering more food than necessary. Now, this part is extra, but it's mind-blowing just how destructive these cuckoos are. If the cuckoo is the host bird's first hatchling, the host will reject its future offspring, believing that they are imposters because they don't look like the cuckoo. They're supposititious offspring. So in reality, if the cuckoo is successful, it can destroy not just one generation, but every generation this bird was going to produce in its lifetime. At this point, I'd like to compare what we know about the cuckoo to what we know about humans, and I'll keep it simple. We know that the cuckoo is a parasitic bird that lacks the civility, competence, and capacity to build its own nest. We've seen how it tricks better birds into building nests and destroys its host eggs and subsequently the nest. In this metaphor, the nest represents the institutions that allow us to harness and guide our resources and energy. Eggs are like the ideas, innovations, doctrines, leaders, etc. that are developed within the nest. The cuckoo are the antisocial, psychopathic, corporate cronies that feed on societies, whose greed destroys the middle class and its institutions. They have infiltrated our institutions and are attempting to destroy the ideas, innovations, doctrines, leaders, etc. that advance society. Better birds are people like you and me, contributing to society, building nests, starting with the most fundamental institution, family. We are the ones suffering at the hands of the cuckoo, who attack us relentlessly and consume all of our energy and resources with an insatiable appetite. The cuckoo use evil techniques that take advantage of our good nature and turns our logic against us. For instance, it's in our nature to have compassion for one another. We all want to alleviate the suffering of others, and the cuckoo knows that. So they create endless cycles of suffering in order to appeal to our emotions, tricking us into giving them more resources instead of the individuals actually suffering. Consider this hypothetical. If I cut out my own eyes because they offended me, would you, out of compassion, give me yours? What if you ran out of eyes to give? Would you then give me your son's or daughter's eyes? What about your grandchildren? What kind of parent would it make you if you were to rob your own children and grandchildren of their quality of life for compassion's sake? We have to be willing and able to distinguish good from evil, right from wrong, the truth from the lie. The cuckoo can only be successful if he is able to hide behind the curtain of ambiguity. As long as we refuse to establish boundaries on terms, ideas, and concepts, we will not be able to discern what a thing is versus what it isn't. That serves the destructive nature of the cuckoo. How hard is it to look the cuckoo in the eye and tell it that it is indeed cuckoo? How hard is it to grab his ass and toss him out of our institutions? What are we waiting on? As I close this video, I want you to do this today, tomorrow, and forever. Think of the institutions: family, religion, agriculture, technology, education, etc. And determine which institutions are stable today and which institutions are being consumed by fire. Just answer that question honestly. Then determine which ideas are prevailing within said institutions. Are they the old established ideas, or are they the new transient ones? And please, try not to confuse institutional ideas with the shortcomings of the individuals representing them. We're only counting the ideas that they encourage us all to practice. Do that quickly, because I'm afraid we don't have much time left to act. I believe the cuckoo is in the nest.
The cuckoo is in the nest, and the cuckoo's about to be trapped.
Cuckoo? One of the finest innovations from Zurich. It removes all pain. Guys like me, we have to turn to booze and morphine, and that can lead to addiction. Oh, that's fast. That is advanced.